Hi, it's Wits. I hope you are doing well. This is going to be a mishmash of a video. In the beginning, I will do some ink swatches of these dominant industry inks, and then I will do, I guess, I'll share with you a little bit of a haul video at the end as well. This is the pen holder or the dip pen holder that I received from Hiroko-san, who is Bokumondo. I will leave her linked down below. It's a beautiful handmade urushi dip pen holder with raden. She was mentioning that it might be out of stock, but if there's enough demand, she will definitely remake some more. And then the tip of the pen is from Kakimori. I've introduced it in a previous video, so I will link that as well. It is the brass pen tip. So I will swatch, I think, 3 inks in total from Dominant Industry. The first one here is the Earl Grey Tea, and I'm using the Tomoe River paper pad from Yamamoto Paper. This is in the A5 size, and it's just a pad of Tomoe River paper, and then it includes a guide, a line guide, both grid and then a lined alternative as well on the other side. So I used a cocktail stir. I received this glass one from Mirai Cat. It's such a great way to swatch the colors. And I don't know if you can see off to the side here, to the left-hand side, I was looking at a video by Attic Lane, and she had these very easy and simple flower doodles that I wanted to incorporate in my swatches. I usually end up swatching just lines and squiggly lines. Sometimes I will write out a sentence or two, but I thought it would be fun to doodle out some little cute flowers instead, and so I saw that nice idea from Attic Lane and decided to draw those out. I really enjoy the Dominant Industry packaging and the bottles. They're glass bottles and they're very sturdy. Sometimes they're a bit hard to open, but that just probably means I need to build a little bit more muscle. But yeah, they're very nice, and they come in a nice little baggie that you can see, and they also include a pipette. So if you just want to swatch out a couple of, or you just want to pull out a couple of millimeters of the ink into a separate container, that's also possible as well. This one is the Dominant Industry standard line. It's called Winterwood. I'm sorry, the previous one is also a standard line, the Earl Grey tea. So they're both from the standard line. They have like the shimmer line as well. I think they call the pearl line with the shimmer inside. But these two are from the standard, and once again, doodling out some flowers and things. I just like how it turned out. It's just some random doodles, and it just makes my page really happy, and it makes me happy, so I really enjoyed that process. Instead of just swatching out straight lines and things, because I end up using my fountain pens for journaling, and this is like more of an accurate representation of how I would see the inks in the future. And just trying to use up all of the ink that's remaining on the brass nib. It holds a lot of ink, and that I do appreciate. I'm still trying my best to figure out how to get it at the right angle so that it gets starting right away. So I had a couple or several more bottles left. I ended up doing forest, or choosing forest, and I decided to just swatch out these 3 inks because I knew I didn't have enough time. I still want to share with you my little pen case haul, and I also wanted to share with you the video of me filling up some new fountain pens. So this is also from the standard line. This is the Dominant Industry called Forest, and it's a beautiful green with a little bit of sheening. This time I added some stars and little dashes and little circles as well. I still haven't, like I said, I still haven't found that sweet spot where I can get like a fine line with this dip pen. And I find that the ink tends to get caught up in the base, and so whenever I pull out the nib, the brass nib, whenever I pull it out, I find that there's ink pooling in the back. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's whenever I pull it out, there's ink there, and then my fingers get all inked up. Oh, well, I guess that's the whole part of the fountain pens and inks hobby. But yes, just trying my best to use up the ink that's remaining on this brass nib. I'm having a lot of fun with the Tomoe River paper pad as well. And I like that it's just some, it's just a pad of paper. And so if I wanted to write notes to my friends or like letters to my friends, I can easily write use a couple of pages. And I have this huge paper pad of Tomoe River paper. I admit that Tomoe River is probably one of my favorites. I enjoy it very, very much, especially in my Hobonichi Techo, and so I'm very comfortable with this paper and very thankful that Yamamoto Paper Company has this offering. Moving on to my fountain pen collection here. I have them all kind of in this the Superior Labor pen roll. Those are the empty ones, and so I pulled out I pulled out 3. I think somebody recommended or suggested that they wanted to see the Diamond 580 inked up, as well as the Jotter pen there, and so that's what I will be sharing with you. I will share with you also a comparison of my journaling or my writing in the Hobonichi Techo versus the Tomoe River paper pad that you see here. It's always nice to see a comparison. It's not a huge difference, but it's still nice to see on camera. I decided to ink up the TWSBI Diamond 580 with the Dominant Industry ink in the forest. So here I am with my Hobonichi Techo. I use this notebook for my daily journaling and memory keeping, and I wanted to test out the ink in this notebook to see if there is any big difference between the Tomoe River papers. I always enjoy seeing the different writing and feeling the different writing experiences in different notebooks and papers. I try my best to keep track of the different fountain pen inks that I use in the front section there in the Hobonichi. And here is the close-up view of the different Tomoe River papers with the same ink, the Dominant Industry Forest in number 105. It's not a huge difference, but I just wanted to share that with you. Then here is what I wanted to share. I purchased something from Plotter, and it is a pencil case you can see here, and I really like the closure, the magnetic closure. It is in collaboration with a company. I'm going to try my best to link it down below, but it is, I think, an upcycle project where they use leather from maybe other projects or leftover leather from different designs, but I did enjoy and appreciate that aspect of this pencil case. And so you can see here it holds there's slots for 4 simple pens and then like a nice closure on the top just for protection. And there is a magnetic, you can see the magnetic closure off to the side there, and then there's a zippered compartment as well. So if you want to hold other items such as, smaller items that may not fit into these slots, maybe you want to bring some pencils, eraser, some ink samples, that type of thing, you can put into the zippered compartment. So I'm just inserting the pens that I have here just to share with you what fits. I think the TWSBI would fit, but I was a bit too scared to try to stretch that at this time, so I've decided to put that pen into the compartment. And as you can see, it holds just a standard 15 centimeter ruler here in the compartment as well. I think longer items you can definitely fit into the pen sections, but it holds the items nice, and like it's not too tight, and it's not like rattling too much. The magnet is quite strong, and I don't feel like it will open easily. But yeah, I think it's a really nice, very simple pencil case or pencil roll for your pens. And so I've been using this pretty much every day since I purchased it, holding my pencils, sorry, not my pencils, my fountain pens that I've been kind of rotating throughout the day or throughout the week. And I've been enjoying it so far. I look forward to seeing it kind of patina and age. I think the website has 4 different colorways. The colorway here that I chose was brown, and even though it doesn't look brown, it looks more of a camel size. The actual camel leather it's a different one, but this, moving forward, sorry, this is the ink samples that I received from Diana, and I decided to use these 2 inks to ink up my fountain pens here. I have a bag full of these empty cartridges and converters, and I have a really difficult time figuring out which converter is compatible with which pen, and I've gone as far as sometimes even writing the brand on the converter so that I don't forget. Sometimes the brand is lightly written on there, but a lot of the times I end up just using a marker to indicate which cartridge or which converter fits which pen. And yeah, I would like to know if you are or if you're an experienced fountain pen user, how do you keep track of the different cartridges and converters? I'm finding it quite difficult to remember. Here I'm just trying to, I should have maybe used a different angle, but I'm trying to tap the air bubbles up to the top. I really want to kind of withdraw as much ink as possible, but the first one here is in the Sailor 1.5 calligraphy pen. I haven't used this one in a quite some time, and so I was really excited to get back into it. It's a very simple, standard 1.5 nib, and it writes really nicely. It's from Sailor, and I've decided to ink it with the Mont Blanc, I think it's called Coffee Brown. I always think it's Toffee Brown, but I think the correct name is Coffee Brown. And then here is the Parker, so you can see I wrote down there Parker, and I don't recall the actual model name. I don't recall keeping the packaging. I received it as a gift, and I don't remember the actual Parker. I think it's the Parker Jotter, but I don't remember the exact model name. But if you do know which one it is, please let me know in the comments. And this one is a cartridge. It's not a converter, so I can't withdraw the ink directly into the cartridge. I have to use a blunt syringe to withdraw the ink from the ink container, and then just, I guess, squirt some into the empty cartridge. And then this is what I end up doing with the Parker pen usually, is once I finish everything, I'll clean it out, and then I'll just have to reuse that same cartridge. I'm actually not sure if Parker has any converters for this pen. I haven't looked into it. Because I'm quite impatient, I just ended up dipping the tip of the nib into the ink so that I can start writing with it right away. I don't know if that's something that's frowned upon, or I don't know, in the fountain pen community, but I'm quite impatient and I cannot wait for the ink to actually come flowing downwards. So sometimes I end up just dipping the tip into the ink so that I can write right away. So here is a close-up of the ink. It's from Kyo. I don't remember the exact brand, but I think on the label that my friend sent me, it says Kyoiro. I don't know if there's like a longer brand or like a full name of it, but if I can find it, I will leave it listed down below in the description. And I really like this Parker pen. It's nice and fine. It's lightweight, so it's nice for me for longer writing sessions. Sometimes I like the heavier weighted pens, but for longer writing sessions I do enjoy the lighter ones like this Parker pen, or the Pilot Kakuno pen is very comfortable for me as well. And the nib, the Parker nib, doesn't mention what tip it is, so I'm assuming it's a fine. It's nice and fine. In my eyes it is anyway, so I believe it's a fine, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm very sorry if you are curious. Yes, you can see at the top there, the ink is called Kyoiro, and then KI0105. And this is the close-up of the Sailor calligraphy in the 1.5. The ink, once again, is the Mont Blanc Coffee Brown. And sorry for the mistake, it says toffee, but it is in coffee brown. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. I know it's kind of all over the place with me inking up or doing some fountain pen ink swatches in the beginning from Dominant Industry, then inking up some pens and sharing with you a recent purchase. But I didn't want to kind of break the video up too much, and hopefully it can kind of give you a snapshot of what's been going on in my fountain pen usage recently. I haven't really changed that many colors, but I did recently ink up some Pilot Iroshizuku Tsukiyo and Sailor, what is it called? Tokiwa Matsu, I think, is another one. But anyways, I'll leave it here for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.